What's going on, guys? It's UrAvgConsumer, and today we're checking out the brand new Google Pixelbook, which is supposed to be the best Chromebook out, so let's see what we get in the box. But before we get going, we gotta give a huge shout out to Full Sail University for sponsoring today's video. So let's get this thing ripped open. So first thing we're greeted with, oh, by the way, I do have the Pixel pen right here too. We'll get into that in a bit. Now this is supposed to be 2.4 pounds. And it's much lighter than it sounds. I know a lot of people were complaining that this is supposed to be a bit heavy. This is not bad at all. Man, this box is unnecessarily large. But what you get inside, you get a cable, you get a double-sided USB Type-C cable, as well as a wall adapter. I think this is a 45-watt wall adapter, so you can juice this thing up pretty quickly. And that's it for the box. That's it. Unnecessarily large, but whatever. And the Pixel pen actually goes for about $100 bucks. The Pixelbook itself starts at $9.99, so $1,000 for a Chromebook. We have to see if it's worth it. But $1,000 bucks here and $100 bucks here. And let's see, is this, oh snap. It's a tiny old battery that just popped out. I didn't mention it, but both boxes do come with some paperwork. I don't know if you're gonna actually read it, but it's there. Ah. That plastic, baby. Ooh, this thing slides right out. This could have been dangerous. And this is clean, man. So a quick look around this before we open it up and get it powered up. You've got two USB Type-C ports on each side, a headphone jack, thankfully, unlike the phones. You also got a volume rocker on the left side, and all the way at the bottom, you've also got your power button. And this thing has a similar design to the Google Pixel phones. It's got that aluminum body and the glass visor at the top. On the bottom though, it has this grippy material here so that I guess it doesn't slide around on the table. So that's actually kind of nice. It's pretty firm. And here's what you get when you open this guy up. On the palm rest areas, you'll have the same rubber material that you got on the bottom here, and this should lead to a more comfortable typing experience. You of course got your trackpad that's right in the middle. It's all kind of uniform, which is nice. And you also have this little button here on the keyboard, which is the button for the Google Assistant. So this has a dedicated Google Assistant button, which makes sense. And you also have a backlit keyboard, which is nice, but we'll see that when we actually power it on. So I just quickly ran through the setup process, and I realized I didn't speak to you guys about specs. So what you're working with here, this is actually the base model. So it has a 7th generation Core i5 processor, which can be upgraded to a Core i7. It also has 8 gigs of RAM, which can be upgraded to 16 gigs. It also has 128 gigs of solid state storage, which can also be upgraded to 256 gigs or 512. And we're also working with a 12.3 inch display that's running at a 2400 by 1600 resolution. And that's a pretty good resolution. And it also has a webcam, and on their site it's a 720p at 60 FPS. I don't know how many megapixels. If one of you guys know, feel free to leave a comment down below. But you've got that as well. And this is meant to be the most powerful Chromebook, and you can definitely spec it out to be if you want. But I've got to put this guy through its paces, test out all of its features, and I'll let you guys know how it does. So first things first, I love the hardware. This is a premium device at $1,000 or starting at $1,000. So you want the hardware to be good, and I really like what I see here. It's very comfortable. The keyboard is very nice to type on. I like how thin it is. Now, as a laptop, I can appreciate the thinness, but when you turn it into tablet mode, so when you flip it over like this and you turn it into tablet mode, it's a bit thicker than any other tablet that I've used, which makes sense. And you've got this keyboard in the back here that, I don't know, I really just can't get over feeling the keys. And even though the keys aren't doing anything when you have it in this mode, it just feels wrong to just have the keys exposed and being touched like this for no reason. Now, while I do really like the hardware, something that I really can't get over are the bezels. So when you're using it in tablet mode, these bezels, they're just really big. I'm not a fan. And the fact that this has an aspect ratio that isn't the typical 16:9, when you're watching your videos, it's just a lot of black borders. I really can't get over it, to be honest. It just doesn't feel like a device from 2017. Now, I still think the hardware is A1. It has great specs, probably the best spec Chromebook you'll find on the market. But I do think that the fact that it has these bezels and in combination with that aspect ratio is not the best for media consumption, especially when you're throwing it into tablet mode. So That's my only real gripe with it. Now let's talk a little bit about the software experience. I've typically stayed away from Chromebooks because I always felt like Chrome OS was lacking in quite a few different departments, but it's safe to say that this thing has evolved way beyond what I'm used to. So now with the Pixelbook, we get 100% Android app support, which means you can jump into the Play Store and download any Android app that you would like, and it works just fine. Now, there are some caveats here in terms of the quality of the apps. If I pull up something like Instagram over here, you'll see that it has these black borders. So that's something to keep in mind if you are looking for a full-blown experience here. You won't get a full screen, but you can minimize it and you have access to it here like this. Would have been cool to be able to change the size of this, because it kind of looks a little bit small, but it is cool to have that functionality nonetheless. Now there are web-based apps that you can go ahead and open up in the Google Chrome browser, which is pretty typical for Chrome OS, but you can use the Play Store now to go ahead and download those same apps in the Android version. So you will get two different versions of the same application. So there's Gmail for Android and Gmail for the Chrome OS, which is the regular everyday browser. Now, for me, I feel like this can get a little bit confusing. So I think the best way to do it is kind of just get rid of this pinned Gmail app and boom. Now there's an additional little piece here that you can pick up for 99 bucks, and that's the Pixelbook pen. Now you might be familiar with these pens. Pens are all the craze now. There's the Surface Book pen, Apple has their own pen, and now Google's joined the fray. But this has been really nice to navigate Chrome OS if you want. It's been pretty responsive. Now I honestly don't use any apps that really require it. I don't use Photoshop or anything like that. So just navigating it seems pretty fine. But one cool feature I think would work for everyone is the ability to do a Google search when you press this little button right here. So all you gotta do is press the little button on the pen here, find something that you would like to get more information on, you circle it, and your Google Assistant will let you know exactly what you're looking at. So right here, it tells me what the definition of pumpkin is. It gives me a bunch of different search results for pumpkins, pumpkin carving, Mickey Mouse. So it pulled up all of that information just by me circling this, which is awesome. Now, is the pen actually worth the extra 100 bucks? Maybe if you're a design student or someone who's using those apps that really take advantage of having a pen, definitely. But if you're just an average everyday person like myself, I don't think there's gonna be that much value in it, especially considering there's no real way to keep track of it. You can't really attach it based on magnets, something that I've personally gotten used to with these Surface Books. Now it does have that pretty cool little Googling feature, but that's really just a gimmick. It could be useful sometimes, but not worth the $100. You're not gonna walk around with this as your Googling pen. So final thoughts on this guy? I think that this is the best hardware that you'll ever find on a Chromebook. And this isn't the first time Google's done that. They've done that with their original Pixel, where Google pushes the boundaries and gives us something that's amazing to look at, amazing to feel, amazing to use. But the user experience, I think, really depends on the person. If you're married to the Google ecosystem and you love Chrome OS, this is the absolute best Chromebook that you can possibly get your hands on. If you're using something that's pretty old and outdated, this will be a very nice upgrade. But at this price range though, you have to keep in mind that there are other products out there like MacBooks and Surface Books that do quite a bit more than this guy does. At $1,000 bucks, I don't think this is the best value for everyone. Unless you're really, really into Chrome OS, then this is the best thing you can get on the market. And again, huge shout out to Full Sail University for sponsoring today's video. And chances are, if you're watching this channel, you're pretty tech oriented. So there are two programs I want to tell you about. First up, we've got their online and on-campus mobile development bachelor's degree program, where you'll learn how to develop and market an app from start to finish. And second, we've got their online mobile gaming master's degree to help you expand your skills and improve the mobile gaming field. And some perks to Full Sail's Launchbox program is a MacBook Pro, industry software, and some Android and iOS devices. And since it's estimated that there's gonna be 197 billion mobile app downloads, this seems like a pretty good industry to be in. So visit fullsail.edu/UrAvgConsumer or check the link down below in the description if you wanna learn more. But that about wraps it up for today's video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be the cool guy or girl that gives this video a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace.